Yo, morning guys, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project to solve the problems, challenges, and obstacles in our lives, as well as a self-improvement process to reach the heights, goals, and ambitions that we have set for ourselves and those around us. If you like a brief introduction, a brief summary as to how we break down the Ahn Rho Project into domains of life, sub-series analogies, and so on and so forth, you can check that out in the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years, straight to January 2021 and beyond, from updated versions, including copyright-free music, live streaming schedule, and how we divvy the streams into 11 segments, 3 phases, and 15 minutes long, so it won't take too much of your time. We dive into the second segment now. The second segment being 2 points. First of all, it's a solve 8.5 override. A little bit of backtrack from 9.0. A rule to break all the rules, a system principle to free ourselves from the system so that we can be as pragmatic and just get whatever needs done. Second point, of course, you can skip this introduction as usual by just fast forwarding about a minute to a minute and a half on YouTube or Twitch as a video on demand, and then you can dive right into content, which is happening right now. So phase 2 and phase 3. Phase 2 has segments 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. What you see on the left hand panel right now is what you see, is what you get. So on stream here on the very top, I'm expanding a little bit here. You can see the photography at the very top has a lot to do with the room. So obviously logistics and inventory, a lot of materials, grocery items at the top. On the left hand panel, there's some stuff that I want to refurbish, as you see in the title. We'll get to that in a second, about the crates and the regions that we'd like to move around and rearrange, some boxes and logistical stuff. I also see in the middle the table that really needs to be cleaned up. I'm just kind of settling on this live stream to whack off everything, completely just destroy all the mess that's on the table and get rid of it, clean it, purify it. It's almost religious in a context, in a way of looking at it. You see the very bottom now has also some stuff to do with a resume. So this one's particularly to do with employment and interviewing for my domestic guardian. So I'm trying to help her land a job, really, and she's done some work on this on herself as well. And finally, at the very bottom here, you see also some stuff having to do with videos and voice recording. So obviously that does have to do with media assets, live stream, as well as on the right hand panel you see some cookies and mango stuff. So we'll talk about that in a second after this one, after this collage. And at the very bottom, one more collage, right? Once again, a continuation of that, you see the almond cookies. Again, a night out with cousins, so it's a relative sort of thing. And then at the very middle, you see a lot of scanned documents, scanned packaging of things I purchased, particularly electronics and so on and so forth. As well on the left hand side, some social media stuff in the bottom, more social media stuff, but this isn't directly related to friends, cousins, people. This is relationships and final philosophy. So let's just dive right into it. That was a long ass summary. Let's start beginning by where we usually leave off, which is the voice recording. So you can take a look here, as well as the live stream itself. So a capture of all the people who are sort of important to my life, and had a very nice meeting with my cousins yesterday. We had basically a family reunion in a sense, and there were like somewhere between like 6 to 10 of us. And sitting down, and it was a kind of like a dinner in the evening, and they have flown. Some of them have actually come back from across the country, so it was a nice gathering. We talked a lot about stuff, a lot of catching up. I admit I was not in the right state of mind, unfortunately. There's just been a lot of shit going down on the side, and I think I allowed my personal life to just spill out too much in the negative. I would have liked to be less of a bitch, long story short, and hopefully next time we can do better. But anyways, it was a very nice gathering, and I wasn't extremely overbearing. Overall, we exchanged stories. We told ourselves, we talked about what we were doing in our lives, all the developments from a person being a researcher, and congratulations to him seeing friends, welcoming him back. Many of them also in their own careers, are setting up marriages, setting up weddings for marriage, and so on and so forth. So it's very interesting. And then of course, before that, one of these recordings has to do with me and my brother as well, just walking up there and catching up about his kind of project, his kind of business project. So with that being said, that's also what you see in the live stream title. You can see it does say night out, and obviously that has a lot to do with my cousins there for a second. And then at the very back of the title it says refurbish. So again, phase 3 is huge in this live stream. We have a lot of stuff to cover. First, we got rid of that. Okay, next thing we want to cover then, of course, Stoic Reflections as usual. We're done segment 4, 5. This is segment 6. So Stoic Reflections, copyright noise, not my shit, not my stuff. You want to check, go to Instagram. When one door closes, another opens, but we often look so long, so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which has opened for us, by Alexander Graham Bell. So obviously Bell for the phone. Now, this is just about dwelling. Don't dwell on the past and just move on and move forwards with your life. Again, easier said than done. But once again, philosophy is like a figurative father to my life, as psychiatry is a figurative mother, and so I take these things to be a little bit more serious, and it's something that I use. Now we move on to the side here. We see some screenshots, photographs, sorry, of Facebook Messenger, and I don't have it on my phone. And basically here, I am speaking to people over on Facebook, whether it is my cousins on my paternal side, asking, hey, saying thanks for the showing about the project, so the Ahn Rho Project itself. Another one, so this is kind of meta, right? We're kind of recursive, talking about the project as we say that. One of the items here is about the project to a cousin of mine. And then the other group of cousins on maternal side, just meeting up, trying to coordinate everything for the meeting that evening. And then there was even another one for a classmate way back in high school hitting me up, asking how things are doing, am I working, stuff like that. Do we get the shot for Pfizer, Moderna? So that's that. So I had to still actually get in touch with some of them. Here's some scans. Hopefully we can get through this quickly. Optical USB mouse, Tech One brand from Dollarama, dollar store. So I got to scan this. Of course I did. I have scanned it. This is what it is. It's a scanned file. Same thing with this one's brighter, only for specifically the packaging itself, and then I can upload this over onto the laptop as like a document in case sorry, if I ever need to check it out and just see the details. Same thing with this one. These are latex gloves. We will see this in a second. Latex coated work gloves. Once again, Duramax Pro brand from a dollar store, but of course like $4 TPR for extra protection is what it says. Moving on. Okay, so that's stuff I have to upload. Over here we have, I just thought this was interesting. So CXC Classics here and JavaScript Digest. I'm not really into Twitter. I just know that I get these notifications all the time, people liking. It's not people. I'm sure these are just bots. And so, especially that JavaScript Digest. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Now, for about almost a year, JavaScript Digest stopped, retweeting my stuff. So I thought that was interesting to mention here. And as well as CSC Classics. This one has to do with the title here that I had on that stream that was tweeted out was Narcissistic Climax, and I said, is there something to do with that? And I haven't checked out the channel of CXC Classics, but I look at the icon itself, it just felt like it might have something to do with that kind of difficult relationships. Now moving on. I mentioned earlier today that I in this live stream just like 2 minutes ago, my cousin. So this is on the right hand panel, right? And in the recording I mentioned that. So we have these almond cookies and heart-shaped mango pudding. So this is a traditional Chinese cuisine, Cantonese, Hong Kong, Taiwan style cuisine. And we had like a large meal of like things like what is it? Chow mein. 仲有乜嘢呢？炒麵同埋咕嚕肉同埋豆苗. So it's just a bunch of like vegetarian meat-based dishes, stir fry, all that kind of jazz. And at the end there was a dessert. I didn't take a photograph of everything else. It doesn't really matter to me. What matters is here is just this kind of, at least there's one thing that resembles the interactions we have with each other, which is great. And so almond cookies, mango pudding, and of course I still have to mention that because of this I have to fast forward a transfer to one of my cousins who paid for all of us on at least at the moment, so that we can just transfer the money afterwards by say like Interact or whatever. So here's a next one. So this has to do with videos and stuff like that. Rigid thinking and processes, so why you shouldn't emulate geniuses and rigid. This is a big think channel with Barbara Oakley talking about geniuses and how proclaimed they tend to have a very rigid way of thinking, and I understand that personally myself sometimes, not being a genius myself, but just having rigid thinking processes and trying to break through to that. So I downloaded that video, thought it was interesting. Now you see here, finally, employment resume for my domestic guardian, so my maternal guardian. Managing food processing, daily meetings, solving client problems, senior health products, cosmetics, controlling. This is basically one segment of the resume. Here's another one. Service clerk, using my compassion, lifelong experience, knowledge from business courses, excellent interpersonal skills with staff and customers, practical thinker, problem solver, blah blah blah. Once again, a bunch of different segments of the resume. And here of course is on Google Drive, kind of sharing it with her and checking out the ones that I composed the resume for, because she's not that tech savvy. Obviously this is an generational issue, so she has me helping her. I'm going to help her later on today. probably after I make the payment to my cousin. And now I have some photographs here. Shit, we only have like 5 minutes left on stream. So you take a look here. Here's the mess. Region A9, gotta get rid of. It's a huge goddamn mess. Look at that. Cards, money, tissue papers, trash, all sorts of stuff cut out from envelopes, supplements, packaging from the supplements, shit, scissors. Like, we'll get to that in a second. So this is a before snapshot, and that's basically what I covered. Same thing here, before snapshot, region B1. So B1 right here. Nut clusters, equipment, the gloves, the bananas, the chips, the shit like that. All that stuff I purchased yesterday. Roughly about, how much should I say? Maybe about like $50 worth of groceries and equipment. 16 from the dollar store, 30, like 27 from the Walmart, so maybe about 45 bucks. And here is finally region D1, D3, and D4 on the side there, with the crates stacked up on top of each other. What we're going to do with them and how we're going to rearrange them begins immediately after the next segment ends, which is the Excel. I don't have to say too much about here, but fitness is still in the shitter. I went to sleep real late yesterday because of the night out. There's some news that I had to capture here, as well as doing some research on pancreatic ducts and pancreatic blockage. I'm not sure why I don't have that screenshot here. Maybe I covered it yesterday, but I was worried about my pancreas having pain on the left hand side, but it's probably my stomach actually from overeating. So stomach distension from eating too much. Anyways, I did some research on pancreatic duct and stuff like that. All right, moving on, and that's why the Excel stuff. Okay, phase 3, we have only 3 minutes. This is ridiculous. So let's stand up here, region D1, D3. There's region B1 down here, and region A7, A8. I'm gonna get rid of this immediately right here. Let's see what can get done. So we have these two receipts underneath the laptop. Pull it up. This is probably about a year's worth ago. I need to find it and date it inside this stash over there. Put the receipts away. Put it in there. Receipt and the supplements. So we have to open a new package. Examine Health Sciences. Gotta take out the plastic wrap. Same thing with this this Poly C. Take a plastic wrap. Toss this plastic wrap. Maybe toss all this trash here, which is, again, you see all this paper napkins and stuff like that. Some of these are used, some of these are not. Use the ones that are used and stash away with all this paper that I used to cut out the DIY crafts for the colleagues I had, the cards, farewell parting gifts. Take it all together, scrunch it together, including the Human Health supplement, as well as this the toothpick that I used to eat some food from my domestic garden class 2 item. So all this kind of stuff is just trash. I need to pick it all together, all this garbage, and wrap it inside that saran wrap and move it over to region D1 for trash. Then what we have here is all this cash, right? All this cash, $5, $10, $20 in total, is a receipt payment from my domestic guardians for helping her buy chia seeds, walnuts, and so on and so forth for her diabetes. And then over here, and I said, you don't have to pay me for that kind of stuff, come on. But over here, we have some money, about $200 worth, a bunch of $5, $10, $20, $50 bills that I captured in about 5 live streams ago. I'm going to stash this once again with the cashier for my domestic guardians into probably one of the places where I have my wallet, and then put it away. And the card here, of course, I gotta put away as well, probably over here to region B1. That's where all the cards are that I received as gifts. And then this should be mostly cleared. This I have to find a way to put because it is something that's like clothing. I'll probably place it in region B2 or as an accessory item for clothing to wrap myself up with, somewhere along this line, region E and F. So I'll figure out what to do with this as well. We also see the scissors as well as nail clippers down here somewhere, and that's because I have to clip my nails as well as cut my hair, and then so it's a basic body care. And then finally a pair of scissors here from the workplace, which I take as a souvenir, but I'm still returning back to work. It seems probably tomorrow morning I'll make a decision probably to return to work after all, despite resignation. And so finally, some stock bottles here that I can run out. I gotta toss away in a recycling bin. And the Human Health supplements right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stash it over here. These were from region C1, C2, very top. That's where the closet doors open. Take it out. It's down here, and then I'll put supplements, maybe a week's worth over here on the side before we turn this back upstairs. And then down here we have this groceries as well as D1, D2. We have to cover the next live stream because it seems I don't have enough time, which is ridiculous. Of course, that's life. Let's continue this tomorrow morning or later on today. I don't really know. See you then. This is Ahn signing it.